Graphing, and we are recording. Graphing is the most inaccurate way. Why? Because sometimes you can't interpret the middle of your boxes on a what? On a piece of graph paper. And you may be a little bit off. It's kind of like continuous versus discrete. The discrete numbers on your graph is the corners of the boxes, where the continuous numbers on your graph are between the corners of the boxes. You don't know exactly if it's a half, if it's quarters, or whatever the case may be. So that's why solving systems of equations is best done on the calculator or a piece of graph paper, and you have to be very, very what? Accurate. Now I'm going to go through the basics, but just realize that when you are doing solving systems of equations and you do it by graphing, you have to be on a piece of graph paper or use your graphing calculator. Let me go to my handy dandy whiteboard. And I'm just going to make it transparent and pull up PowerPoint again. And there. And here. So, I'm going to solve both for y. 3x don't understand. Just don't understand. 3x minus 4y is equal to 21. And negative 4y is equal to negative 3x plus 21. And divide by negative 4, divide by negative 4, divide by negative 4. You got y is equal to 3/4 x plus or minus 21/4. Then you do the other. 2x plus 5y is equal to negative 9. 5y is equal to negative 2x minus 9. Divide by 5. Y is equal to negative 2/5 x minus 9/5. So write those two down right there, and you're going to graph them. Nope, that ain't gonna work. So, if we graph the first one, we've got 3/4. X is it's a positive slope. Negative 21/4 is what? Dang old 5 1/4. Negative 5 1/4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5 1/4 would be right there. And I'm trying to draw there. Whatever. And I'm going to go up. 1, 2, 3 vertical, and 4 over. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you got some kind of line looking like that. Okay? The second one, negative 2/5 and negative 9/5. Well, negative 9/5 is 1 4/5, right? Which is almost 2. So almost at negative 2. 1, 2. We'll put it right about there. And we've got a negative slope, and it's 2 over 5. So I'm going to go up 2, just to confuse people. 1, 2, and over 5. Negative slope would be this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you got a line going somewhere like that. Now see, I have no earthly idea what that point is because I have no graph paper behind it to show me. You see what I'm saying? I know it's in the third quadrant, and if I was to take a guess, I was to say probably 2 and 1, 2, 3, maybe 4. I don't know. 2 and 4, I have no earthly idea. And that's why approximately 2 comma negative 4. That's why the graphing calculator is so good. Now, could you set these equal to 0? Could you set them equal to each other? Yes, you could do that also. They don't do that in the solving systems of equations. They want you to harp mainly on the 3. So I'm going to tell you, if you don't have graph paper, graph these 2 on your graphing calculator. We're going to see what the answer is when we do elimination or in substitution. Okay? Let's see what the answer is when they do the handy-dandy mathematics. And what did they get? What was the answer? 3 and negative 3. I said 2 and negative 4. So I was in the area. Okay, I was in the neighborhood. But like I said, if you don't have a graphing calculator and you don't have graph paper, guess what? You might as well rely on substitution and elimination or setting them equal to each other because you're not going to be able to do it without graph paper. Okay? Let's go back to the whiteboard and let's, how can I go back to the whiteboard on this thing? That's not the way. I have to do backspace. Let's go back to the whiteboard and let me set them equal to each other. What was the 2, y is equal to, or give me the whole thing. Give me 3x minus 4y equals 21. And what's the other one?
2x plus 5 equals negative.
2x plus 5y is equal to negative 9. 5. Don't screw it up. All right, I could solve for y like I did. Negative 4y is equal to negative 3x plus 21. Divide by negative 4. Negative 4. Negative 4. Y is equal to 3/4 x minus what? 21/4. Now do that and set them equal to each other. 5y is equal to negative 2x minus 9. Divide by 5. Divide by 5. Divide by 5. Y is equal to negative 2/5 x minus 9/5. So set these two equal to each other. And that's going to be 3/4 x minus 21/4 equals negative 2/5 x minus 9/5. Oops, 9/5. Just change the problem while you're at it. Now, what's the first thing I'm going to do? I'm adding and subtracting what? Fractions. I'm going to get a common what?
Denominator.
I'm going to get a common denominator all the way through before I even start this problem. Okay? Or I'm going to quit and use the graphic calculator because I never learned how to do fractions. You're not going to do the latter. Okay? You need to do what I'm thinking to do. That's why we got people that can't make change and spell mom backwards because of the dang calculators. Nothing wrong with using them, but you use them when you're supposed to. Okay, so I'm going to say 20 is my common denominator. That's the x, and this is x. All right, how many times does 4 go into 20? 5. 5 times 3 is 15. How many times does 4 go into 20? 5 times 21 is 105. Somebody help me out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
5 will go into 24 times 2 is 8. 5 will go into 24 times 9 is 45.
36.
No, 36.
It's fast accuracy.
36. Okay, where's the little bucket? 15 20ths or 8 20ths? 8 20ths. So I'm going to move the little bucket because that's what lazy people do. They move the smallest bucket. Take it across the river, and it becomes plus 8 over 20x. And what's 15 plus 8?
22.
23 over 20x equals, and I'm going to bring that 105 over 20 across the river, and it becomes 105 over 20 minus 36 over 20. And that's going to give me 23 over 20x is equal to, what's 105 minus 36? Hang on, 64 or 60, what, 9? What? 69? Okay, 69 over 20. Dang on, tell you what, dang on, looks pretty good. Divide by 23 over 20. Divide by 23 over 20. What do you do when you divide by a fraction? Look there. 20 over 23. And x is equal to 69 divided by 23. And we feel good about ourselves. Now we take that 3 and do what? BS our way back, right? Back substitute. Y'all thought of something else, didn't you? Y is equal to 3/4 times 3 over 1 minus 21/4. Okay, 3 times 3 is 9. 9 over 4 minus 21 over 4. What's 9 minus 21?
12.
Oh my goodness, look at there. Negative 12 over 4 is what?
Negative 3.
It's a miracle. And there, that's another way to solve systems of equations. Set them equal to each other. Set them equal to each other is what you need to remember for calculus. Remember that. Put a star beside it. Highlight it. I don't know if I told you or the 110 class yesterday. Y'all both going over the same stuff. When you want to find the intersection of two lines, two curves, two whatevers, set them equal to each other and highlight it. Highlight that and put a star beside it because you're going to be doing it in calculus. Reached? Now let's erase all this, and we've gone over setting equal to each other. We've gone over graphing. Graphing, pretty much use your calculator or graph paper. If I was to give you 6 questions on a test, solving systems of equation, 1 would be graphing, the rest would be substitution elimination. I'm not going to give you very many graphing unless I give you a multiple choice or I just give you the answer and say, here's the solution. Do the work on your calculator and then do that. I'm not going to have you try to graph and find the intersection on a graph. Do that because it's just not worth it. Okay, so now I'm going to use substitution. My favorite is elimination, but I'm going to use substitution. I've got this one solved for y, so I'm going to take this guy right here, and I'm going to plug this guy into what? Right there. So do that. Now you could go either which way you want to. You can solve for x and plug in for x. You can solve for the other x and plug in for x. It doesn't matter what you substitute. It doesn't matter. Y'all settle down now. So who's going to win that? Who's going to win? Darn, I done forgot. It was a good game this week. I done forgot it. It just left me. Oh well. I suck.
Alabama, Texas A&M.
Thank you. Alabama, Texas A&M. Who's gonna win that game?
Alabama.
Alabama.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
You think Jimbo Fisher's a fool? I don't think Jimbo Fisher has ever been beat by 30 points. I don't think
Is
he's
it at
gonna
the
start.
12th man? Is it at the 12th man or is it?
I don't know. I think it'll be within 14 points. I think it'll be 2 touchdowns. But I don't think they're gonna run away with it.
I got Clemson in the game.
Yeah.
If it's at Alabama, I think Alabama will pull away later in the game and end up winning.
Oh yeah, Alabama will wear them down. That's what Alabama does.
But the 12th man.
They wear you down and then beat the crap out of you, kick you in the stomach in the fourth quarter. That's what they do. Georgia's got Missouri. I'm not saying Georgia's going to run away with that one either, because Missouri's got a pretty good team. They got a good quarterback that's coming back. He's like redshirted like 5 years. So Clemson's playing high school again because it's Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech got beat by Central Florida down in BFE, Florida. So I don't think they got Georgia Tech.
Central Florida's actually good. Central Florida's pretty good. Southern Florida, they got beat by Southern Florida.
Yeah, they got beat by Southern Florida. Did I say Central? I'm sorry. Southern Florida.
Pretty good.
South Florida, which is even worse because they're not even ranked.
Yeah, I know.
At least Central Florida's ranked. Who's Ohio State play? So I'll be praying that they'll get beat by. They play another high school team in the Pac-12.
The whole schedule's
They're probably playing Burns. It is the Pac-12 or the Pac-10. Which one are they in? One of the two.
Big Ten.
They play Tulane.
Oh, yeah. Boy, I bet Tulane's going to whoop up on Ohio State. Wish Ohio State would play Alabama and get the crap beat out of them. That's what I wish. One of the most overrated teams in the nation.
That needs to be like the opener of the season, Ohio State versus Alabama.
Yeah, I think it should be too. But you know why they won't do that? They put cupcake teams in front of Ohio State because Ohio State is in the all children's conference or the other all children's conference.
USC did it, what was that, 2 years ago or last year? So they got killed.
Yeah. I would love for Ohio State to go through a losing season so that way everybody would see that they still show up in the top 10. They could lose every dadgum game, and the next year they'd show up in the top 10.
Yep.
USC used to be that way, and Michigan used to be that way.
USC was that way for 4 years. I remember when USC was ranked number 1 when Stanford beat them after they came off like a 7-6 season.
Exactly. Who's that talking? I want to. Who's that?
I think that easily came.
Oh, darn! I thought it was Pendleton. I thought I was getting an interaction from Pendleton. No, that's not going to happen. All right, so let's go ahead and substitute. Now, whenever I substitute, I plug in big old set of parentheses. So I'm going to take 2x plus 5, and then I'm going to put equals -9, and then I'm going to take my red marker and put in BA parentheses. And then I'm going to plug in my 3/4 x minus 21/4. Now what am I going to do? Well, I've got to distribute because I can't do anything else. So I'm going to distribute and make everybody go into cardiac arrest because I've got more fractions. So 15/4 x minus 5 times 21, 105, over 4 equals -9. Well, I'm going to go through and what am I going to do? I'm dealing with fractions, so I'm going to get what? Common denominator. So 4 is my common denominator. Or you could depend on a calculator, which would solidify you not being able to change or spell mom backwards. 1 will go into 4 times. 4 times 2 is what? 8x. 4, we're going to 4 1 times 15 is 15. And you're not going to get away from this because when you're in calculus, you're going to be doing complex rational expressions in the calculus. So you're going to have to find the common denominator of not only x, but x plus 1, or x plus 1 and x plus 2 quantity squared. So you're not going to get away from it, and the calculator won't do that. So you're going to have to learn how to do it. 4 will go into 4 1 time 105. 1 will go into 4 4 times 36. Now, I've got several degrees. I realize that there's easier ways to show that, but I have found that when I'm showing the common denominator, that's the easiest way for students to grab a hold of. Because if I say, 9 can be rewritten as 36 over 4, that just blows some students back to the kindergarten, okay? It just doesn't work, all right? So that's why I'm teaching and you're not. All right, so we've got an x right here. We've got an x right there. What's 8x plus 15? 23x over 4 minus 105 over 4 equals negative 36 over 4. Golly, this is familiar. And 105 comes over. You got 23 over 4x equals negative b. What's negative 36 plus 105? So I'm going to multiply by 23 over 4. Multiply by 4 over 23. And there's supposed to be a negative there. There's supposed to be a negative sign. No, it's 3. That's right. So what's 69 divided by 23? 3. And we feel good about ourselves. So we don't wear sunglasses in the gym. Okay? Now take that and plug it back into whichever one you want to for y. And that's how you use substitution. So you've got 3 ways: graphing, setting equal to each other, then back substituting, and then substitution, and then back substituting. So let's do elimination. And again, this is probably stuff that you have seen before. I'm not saying you haven't, but the ones that invented solving systems of equations, I'm not here to teach you. I'm here to teach the ones that go, I have no idea what he's doing. That's who I'm here to teach. Those that invented solving systems of equations, y'all need to go back to MIT and solve the proofs on the wall, on the chalkboard, while you're mopping the floors. All right. Hang on. What movie was that?
What was that movie called?
Y'all watch YouTube and y'all watch cartoon animation.
What's the name of that movie?
Y'all watch. Y'all won't watch
Matt
it.
Damon and Robin Williams. What was the name of it?
Yeah. What was
the
it?
name of it? I can't remember.
Good Will Hunting.
Good, yeah. It was a good.
Yeah, very good movie. All right. So, put them on top of each other. 3x minus 4y is equal to 21. 2x plus 5y is equal to negative 9. Now, with elimination, you follow 3 rules. 1, look for equal coefficients. 2, look for opposite signs. 3, if not number 1 or 2, make it so. John Luke Picard. Make it so. So, do we have the same coefficients with the x's? No. Do we have them with the y's? No. So this means this is sometimes you're lucky and you get the same coefficients, and that's the ones you go with. And if they have the opposite sign and the same coefficients, you go with that even more because it's easy what? It's easy work. Keep it simple what? Anyway, do we have opposite signs? Yes, where? With the X's or the Y's? So we're going to focus on the Y's. Now, whips and chains, if you want to do more punishment, then you go with the X's. But I'm going to go with the Y's because I've already got opposite signs. So I've just got to manipulate the 4 and the 5 into the same what? I've got this. I've got opposite signs, but I don't have what? I don't have the same coefficient. So I've got to manipulate 4 and 5 into the same coefficient. And that would be what? 20. So I'm going to multiply the top by what? I'm going to multiply the top by 5 and the bottom by what? 4. And that will annihilate the Y term. Do that. Now, what is the most common mistake students make on this step? Anybody want to take a guess?
They don't distribute to all.
They don't distribute to all three. They distribute to 1 or 2, and then they get some kind of quanky decimal or fraction that doesn't look right, or answer the side of wampus. That should cause some question marks. Wampus? What's wampus? Like dang old washing towels, and you get all the towels on one side of the dadgum washer. What does it do? It starts sounding wampus, wampus, wampus. It's out of balance. Nothing. What's that little short comedian that plays in movies?
Kevin Hart.
I don't think he can get anything out of this group. Even Easley's hungover. Easley's dude. Where did Miss Leonhardt go? I got a suggestion. If you gonna Skype in with a computer that's powerful enough to Skype in, unlike I tried to do. I made fun of myself. Y'all not gonna laugh. It's just like a rock. Yeah, she's been offline for 20 minutes. I guess she just comes in and, yep. Why y'all so quiet, Easley? Y'all ain't sick, are you? Okay, y'all just don't want. Okay, that's fine.
The microphone at the end of the table isn't working, so you can't hear anybody back there.
I can hear all of you. Oconey's got a great picture of the monitor. Okay, there they go. Now I can see them. Okay, I'll just do the work. That's all right. Just make the class go a whole lot longer. So I get 15x minus 20y is equal to 105, and 8x plus 20y is equal to negative what? Negative what?
36. 4 times 9.
Yeah, 4 times 9 is 45. I'm drunk. 36. And add those two together, and look what happens. The y's what? They go out, and you get 15 plus 8, and we said that was what, 23? 23x is equal to, what's 105 minus 36?
69.
It's a miracle. And then what do we do with that 3? BS our way back, either here or there to get y, whichever one you want to do. Now we could go into Kramer's rule and matrices if y'all want to. Don't even get a hell no. Don't even get anything. I ought to just go in and just keep going until somebody says, freaking stop. I ain't kidding you. I ain't never I ain't never. You know, I ain't never is worse than I have never. Okay? That's like the difference between a whooping and a whip. Nothing. Does anybody know the difference between a whooping and a whipping?
That would have sucked.
A whipping is when when your mama takes you grabs you by the wrist and pops you on the back end in the grocery store 2 or 3 times. That's a whipping. A whooping is when you get home. And she takes like the wooden spoon or the fly swatter handle, or let's see what else, the switch, the hickory or the belt, and you can't sit down for 2 or 3 days. Y'all know the difference between that's not the difference between hungry and hungry. Forget it. It's like talking to a brick wall. I hope y'all do this to your other classes. Because if you don't, I'm going to be offended. Let's try another one. Let's try, and you can do it, we'll do it by substitution and elimination. Let's try 2x. Let's make it interesting. Let's make it 2x minus 4y is equal to 8. And 1/2 x minus 3/4 y is equal to 7. Substitution and elimination. Which one would you want to substitute into? The one what?
Without the fraction.
The one without the fraction. Good. So that means you need to solve this one over here for y and just pray that you get something simple, because you're going to plug it into something more simple than this. And if you like whips and chains, then you solve this one for x or y and plug it into this mess. Did you ever find out did you ever find any more?
Yeah, I already emailed.
Who was it?
Oh, is Penny something?
Penny, I know who it is. Not Penny. I know who it is. She teaches psychology. What happens in these things is some people try to do all the math and all the algebra between the 2 blue lines of their notebook. Okay? If you write every step out, 9 times out of 10 you won't get it wrong. So y is equal to, what's 4 over 6 combined to? That's supposed to be x. So, there we go. What's 4 over 6 combined down to? 2/3, Hubert?
Third.
Thank you. 2/3 x, and then minus 28/3. Now I'm going to take that, 2x minus 4, big A parentheses, and plug that in. 2/3 x minus 28/3. 2x minus 8/3 x minus 4 times 28. Well, that's simple. 4 times 25 is 100, right?
Yes, sir. It's one.
And then 4 times 3 is 12. That's 112. Equals 8. And I'm going to get a common denominator. One will go into 3. 3 times 2, 6. 3 will go into 3, 1 times 8. 3 will go into 3, 112. 1 will go into 3, 24. And 6 minus 8 is negative what? Minus 2/3 x is equal to 112 plus 24 is 136 over 3. Somebody check it. 136 over 3. Multiply by negative 3/2. X is equal to what? What's 136 divided by 2?
68.
Good job. Back substitute. I'm back substituting into this one. So 2 times 68 minus 4y is equal to 8. 2 times 68 is what? 136. Minus 4y is equal to 8 minus 136. And 8 minus 136 is 120 what?
8.
128 be a negative 128. So y is equal to 128 divided by 4, right?
Yes, sir.
Or is it negative 4?
Negative.
Well, it's going to be positive because this is going to be negative, right? So it's going to come out to be, what, 32?
Yes, sir.
Y is equal to 32. So these two lines intersect at 68, comma, 32. That's your intersection point. Now I want you to do elimination. I'll erase that after everybody writes it down. I'll erase it. We'll do elimination. So what do I need to multiply to get rid of the y? I'm going to have to multiply let's just rewrite it. 2x minus 4y is equal to 8, and 1/2 x minus 3/4 y is equal to 7. Now, is there any way I can make this easier? Yes, I could multiply through by what? By 8 and make that bottom one a whole number. Okay, I could do that. Or I could just use a 3/4 on the top and a 4 on the bottom and multiply through by that. Okay, so I'm going to multiply the top by what? 3/4. And I'm going to multiply the bottom by 4. Now, if you want to multiply this by 4, you can do that. But just remember to multiply that 4 by that 7, because people forget to do that. It doesn't matter to me. So, that'd be 6/4, which is what? 6/4 is 3/2, right? So that's 3/2 x minus 3y equals 24 what? 4, which is what? 6? And 4/2, which is 2x, and then plus what? Plus 3y. Wait a minute. I thought I had opposite. No, I don't. Shoot. So I got to multiply this one by negative. My bad. So that'd be -2 plus 3 equals what? Negative what? 28. I thought that was opposite signs. And now I'm going to eliminate that guy. And this is going to be, I'm going to take a short step here, and I'm just going to change 2 into 4 what? 4/2, Hubert. And that gives us what? What's 3 minus 4? -1/2 x equals, what's 6 minus 28? We'll divide by -1/2, multiply by positive what? Or by -2. And that gives us what? Something's wrong. We're supposed to get the same thing over there. We got something wrong. Somebody help me out. 3/4, that's 6/4. With 6/4 is 3/2 minus 4's cancel, 3y is equal to 24, that's 6. And then 4 times 1/2 is 4/2 plus be a minus, be a plus 3, because that's 4 times that 4 cancels, that's negative times negative, minus 28. We got an error somewhere. I'm sure everybody's going to speak up. Somebody check on your calculator and see where these two cross, so we can see if first we might have got something wrong on the elimination. On the substitution. I got x is equal to 44, and this brings up a good point. What happens if you get mixed numbers? And that means you've got something wrong either with the substitution or the elimination. I'm pretty good with elimination, but my substitution I don't care too much for, so I would probably assume that I probably did something wrong on the substitution, but who knows? Go ahead and do that right quick. Check on your calculator and see what x is. And if you plug x in, that'd be 2, that'd be 88. 8 minus 88. What's 8 minus 88? -80. And that would be a y is equal to 20. So I got 44 and 20 versus 68 and 32. Somebody check 44 and see if you get 20 when you plug it in. And somebody tell me what you get when you put those two equations in. I'll go get some lunch and come back. Let's take that. Oh, Lord. I'm sorry, what?
I got 22.
You got 22?
No, 20.
Okay, so I've got the substitution wrong. Something on the substitution. Somebody check it and see if you get 44 and 20. I've got one person that says they got 44 and 20. I'll wait another 20 minutes. Anybody got another confirmation? What'd you get? Has anybody punched it in their calculator?
I got 44 and 22.
Who said that? Okay, got two people, got 40, got three people. So let's see what we did wrong on the other one right quick. Let's erase what we got. Okay, we won't even ask. Sound like some homeless person taking a shopping cart down the hallway. All right, let's see. I'm going to take, I think we substituted over here. We solved for y, so I'm going to try it again. Negative 3/4 y equal to negative 1/2 plus 7. Divide by negative 3/4. Divide by negative 3/4. Divide by negative 3/4, which means you're going to multiply, well, that's going to go out. Y is equal to, that's going to be 4/3, negative 4/3 right here, and negative 4/3 right here. Well, negative 4/3, that's going to be a 2 there. I get 2/3 x. What do y'all get? And then negative 28/3. Somebody look back at what we did and see if we got that for the substitution. We got that? Okay, so that must mean we've done something wrong plugging it back in. So 2x minus 4 times 2/3 x minus 28/3 is equal to 8. So 2x, I'm just going to go through and do it, minus 8/3 x minus 28, that's 112, somebody check that for me, is equal to 8. And 2x is the same thing as 6/3. 6/3 x minus 8/3 x, that's negative 2/3 x, equals, and then 112, 8, let's see, is 8 is 24 over 3, right? 24 over 3 plus 112 over 3. That's going to be 136 over 3. Somebody check me. So negative 2/3 x is equal to 136 over 3. And that'll be what? 40 what? No, 3.
45.3.
Yeah, we won't do that. We're going to get rid of the 3's next. So when I divide by negative 2/3, I multiply by negative what? 3/2, and the 3's cancel. Right? And that will leave negative. How many times will 2 go into 136?
68.
Okay, we're doing something wrong here.
It's supposed to be a positive 112 over 3.
Positive 112, thank you. So, where?
Right under the parentheses when you distribute.
Right here.
Yes, sir.
Right there?
Yes, sir.
There it is, thank you. And that's going to make that a negative 112, thank you. See what happens when you input? Kind of makes things work better. They don't mind inputting when they catch me doing something wrong. I see how you are. They're not going to respond. That's all I got out of them. That's all I'm going to get. Negative 2/3. I get one remark. That's it. 2/3 x is equal to negative. Somebody tell me what 24 minus 112 is. I'm terrible at subtracting. Negative what? 88. 88? That looks a whole lot better. And the 3's cancel and you get 44, right? Thank you, whoever saw that, thank you. Negative 4, and that's a common mistake. I just made it. Remember, it's what happens when you don't put your arrows. I always put my arrows, and I didn't do it that time. Okay, so that's it. That's how you do it. Now, on a scale from 1 to 10, that's about a 7, because I threw those negatives in there, and I threw those fractions in there, and it does do it. You have to do a little bit of work. But the main thing is make sure you know how to do it, all right? If you're going, I don't know what he's doing with that 4, changing everything into 4s, then we need to talk, because you need to learn how to do, 5th, 6th grade math. Because you're going to have to do it with x and x plus 1 and x plus 2 and x minus 1 quantity squared. You're going to have to do the common denominator. Comprende? Yes, Hubert, we understand. Thank you, class. Appreciate the interaction. We did that one. We did that one. Somebody look and see if we did that one. I don't think we did we? Doesn't look familiar. The 3x plus 5y looks familiar, but the 14 and the 6x, huh? We didn't? All right, let's do this one. Do it any way you want. I'm going to do it by elimination. But take a minute and write it down and do whichever method you want. You can do your calculator if you want to. You can set equal to each other, you can graph, you can use substitution, or you can use elimination. And if you can't do it, just write it down as failure. I bought some new Diet Ocean Spray Diet Cranberry Juice. Cran Cherry. It tastes funny. Maybe it's the vodka. I don't know. Easily, is that somebody sitting over there to the side near the window?
Yeah.
Is that a student or a teacher?
A student.
Okay, as long as it's a student. I didn't know if a teacher was in there observing this or something. Oh God! I said vodka. Oh my God! My department head will find out by the next 5 or 10 minutes. He said vodka in class. But psychology and history teachers can talk about whatever they want. I heard there's one psychology teacher that loves to talk about parts of the body.
No.
Yes. I'm like, my God. could understand that in biology or whatever, but biology? Well, yeah, I could understand that, thus smokestacks on trucks. So I can understand that, yeah, I can understand that. People are like, what the heck is he talking about? Nothing. That's why there's smokestacks on trucks. 3x plus 5y is equal to -1. Why does this thing go back to... Time I pull it up, it goes back to red. Nobody writes in red. Nobody. 3x plus 5y is equal to -1. And 6x plus 2y is equal to 14. We don't have much of a choice because we don't have alternating signs and we don't have the same coefficient. So I'm going to multiply the top by -2, by +2, and the bottom by -1. Anybody disagree with that? You have 4 different choices. Why am I doing the bottom by -1? Well, the opposite signs, but I could multiply the top by -2, but why am I doing it? Because we are used to subtracting from the bottom. So that's why I do that. You know, when you do long division, whatever. 6x plus 10y is equal to -2. And -6x minus what? 2y is equal to -14. And that goes out. You're left with 8y is equal to -16. Y is equal to -2. 3x plus 5 times -2 is equal to -1. 3x minus 10 is equal to -1. Plus 10 plus 10, 9 is equal to 3x. X is equal to 3. So this system of equations intersect at 3, -2. Question. Okay, let me tell you what this looks like. It looks like to me that we are going, let's check and see if I did it right, see if I know what I'm doing. There we go. Yeah, 3, -2, so at least I hadn't kicked in yet. All right, discard. Get out of this. Go to the whiteboard. It looks like to me, yeah, just come on in whenever, that's fine. How was breakfast? Breakfast good?
What?
Nothing.
We're your second class.
Nothing. Oh, you're the second class. You just come on in.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
a little early.
Oh, okay. All right. So here we go. Next week. Yeah, they just come on in. It don't matter. The class ain't gonna say anything. Anybody could walk in with a gun. You know, somebody could walk in with a gun and nobody would say anything. They just sit there and stare at it. Next week, it looks like Monday. Well, y'all come Monday. What's today?
Today is Thursday.
Okay, Tuesday. Y'all Tuesday class. Tuesday, it looks like I will be looking for questions, homework questions. And if I don't get any homework questions, I'm going to go to the what? I'm going to pull up the test in class. Okay, that's Tuesday. So depending on what I do here, depends on what happens Thursday. Okay, but if I go over the test Tuesday, that means I'm going to start new material on Thursday. Okay, so let's just hypothetically, okay, this is hypothetical. Hypothetically means made up. I have to say this several times because somebody will email me tonight. Did you assign the test today? Okay, hypothetically. if I go over the test Tuesday, then I will assign, like, tell me what Tuesday is. What's the date? Huh?
20th.
20th?
That's right.
25th.
25th. All right, then the 25th, the next week could be what? 32nd or something? All right? I don't know how many days are in this month, so it would be the 4th or 5th. What would it be the next Tuesday? Huh? The 2nd, 25th to the 2nd. So if we get to the test and I go through the test and I say, okay, I'm going to put it on the 25th, which will be next whatever, and the next it'll be due the next following, which will be the 2nd. Then I will set the homework. Okay, zipper fetishes. Oh look, there ain't no time near. I'm still talking. Those people that are obsessed with zippers. Are you finished? Okay. Because the zipper fetish people are going to be the ones that email me and go, when did you say the test was due? And I'm not going to tell you. All right. I will assign the homework to finish probably on, if I do this Tuesday, then it will be like on the 27th. So that way it'll give you 2 days to finish up your homework and give you one more class period to go over homework questions. Everybody see how I do it? Now that is hypothetically. All right, anybody got questions for me before I let you go? Now zipper fetishes, you can do your zipper thing now, okay? Anybody got any questions for me? Like somebody's going to ask. All right, y'all have a good day. See you later.
Thank you.
Somebody running out like a bat out of hell.
Never had your clue. I had your clue, but not like.
Where do you come from, Leonhardt?
Now they're talking.
They're all over here. So I have Pendleton class.
JC, what do people got up there against me?
I don't know.
Why do they hate me, man?
And the Pendleton.
Why don't they
They don't
talk?
hate you. They don't
They
hate
just
you.
don't talk to me. Give me a complex. Oh well. It's not the first time, man. Keep this somebody okay for you.
Go.
I'm just going. I'm going to mute my microphone